Balloon Farm was released in 1999. This is directed by William Deere. It's written by Stephen Karczynski, and it's based on the book by Jerdine Nolen. And we have a cast including Rip Torn as Harvey Potter and Mara Wilson as Willow. The concept is interesting. The execution is okay, but it's not amazing. I feel like it dragged on, and it's only about an hour and a half as well, but it really felt like it was dragging on. But I love Mara Wilson, and I loved watching her performance. Our protagonist, or one of our protagonists, Harvey, buys this farm in an area where there's a lot of drought, and these balloons start growing where his crops are, or where the crops would be. And Willow, in particular, thinks that there's something magical about these balloons, and she's determined to find out what that is. And there's a message of hope here and belief. A lot of people in the town are quite angry. They're quite bitter about everything because they're all in very difficult situations. They're not the easiest characters to get on with. But Willow has a lot of hope. She's very curious. She's a very likable character. And I knew I'd like her because Mara Wilson is fantastic. But I'm pleased to say that Willow definitely is a well-written individual. And Harvey is an interesting character as well. I thought that what he brought to this was pretty good. As I said, though, it does just seem to drag on quite a bit. I'd say the first 20 minutes were interesting. The ending is interesting. I won't say what happens. I won't give it away. But I guess everything in the middle, for the most part, was just kind of slow and not that fascinating. So I didn't love it anywhere near as much as I hoped I would. But that being said, I didn't mind it. It's still a fun film with some nice messages and some really good performances and some characters that are just really irritating because they're just really negative. Not that they don't have a right to be negative and down on their luck and responding to that accordingly, but it does mean that there are sometimes characters where I'm not their biggest fans. But Willow really makes up for that, as does Harvey. So it's not a bad film. It's an interesting concept. The execution definitely is not as interesting as I would have liked it to have been. But as a Mara Wilson fan, I definitely really enjoyed her role in this and her character. So not too bad. It's an okay film as a one-time watch. Definitely slowed down in the middle. Not even the middle, I'd say the bulk of the film, to be honest. Maybe at least a good 70% of it is quite slow. But nevertheless, there's enough in there that I'm happy enough to recommend it. As a one-time watch, Balloon Farm is not a bad film.